Good Sunday morning. It is early on a Sunday morning, at least for Sunday. It is 9:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am in Virginia. If you are joining me this morning, let me know your first name and the city, state, or country that you are joining from. Okay? This is early considering that it's Sunday morning. So I'm getting you all up early in the morning, okay? If you're watching the replay, okay, God bless you. You know, I'll take it any way I can get it. If you want to join early in the morning, that's amazing. But if you need to catch the replay, I get it, depending on where you are in the world. Sharetta from Chicago, good morning. Okay. Y'all, it's cold here. It is 42 degrees. It is so cold, and I don't know if y'all know this, but I don't work well in the cold. And I mean, there we go. It's going to reconnect us. When I pull away from the house and it pulls off of the Wi-Fi, it'll reconnect. I think I saw Francis from Ghana. Tanzania, Sam. All right. Thank you. Good morning. So I am headed back to Charlottesville this morning for another day of events for Family Weekend at University of Virginia. That's where my daughter is a second-year student. And so I just wanted to have a grown-up conversation this morning about adult relationships and something that every adult person should know, but you don't. So we're going to talk about it this morning. I'm not going to be in here too long because I don't know how my phone is going to do driving. But anyway. But what I find so interesting, and I get this more from men than, good morning, I get this more from men than from women. And the truth is, it applies to all of us. All of us that are 18 and over, this is the truth, okay? And it is this. Adult relationships are conditional. Okay? I didn't say love. I said relationships. Adult relationships are conditional. Right? Like, you'd have to be a really immature adult to not understand that if you don't do your part in the relationship, if you don't put forth effort, if you neglect the person, if you mistreat the person, they can go about their business. And let's add this caveat. They should. That is a measure of emotional health, that they're going to go about their business. Okay? I don't know why that's like mind-boggling to adult mature people, or maybe you're not fully mature, but yeah. Okay, Carlton from Richmond, it's a pleasure to have you in the house, Carlton. You're here in my city, so you know how cold it is. But come on now, come on, we're grown, and you're telling me that you don't understand that concept? And so the men, okay, I'm gonna pick on y'all for just a second. The men say, oh, we don't have any inherent value. We're just used and abused. It's all about what we can do, and it's all about what we can provide. And, the men, they don't have just inherent value just being. But can I keep it 100? That's everybody. Again, I did not say love. I said relationship. Everyone must do their part to maintain a healthy, happy relationship. And I mean, I've always said this. I'll never not say this. Men are loyal to a fault. Good morning, Joseph from Columbia, South Carolina. Men are loyal to a fault. You all will put up with more than most women will. And, I'm not really sure what to say about that. I'm like, okay, that's how y'all are wired. You put up with more. You accept more, you have a higher tolerance for negative emotion than most women do. And we will have to discuss the science behind that. There is science behind that. Hello, Garland, Stillwell, Woodlands, Texas, 54 degrees. 42 degrees is not cold. I know. It's cold to me. Like, I am a tropical people. So to me, I'm freezing. But yeah, men, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. You have a higher tolerance for a lot of stuff. Y'all just, and my hat's off to you. I've always said that I love that about men. I love their loyalty. I love the fact that they are, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. When a man is in love with a woman, when a man is committed to a woman, it takes a lot for him to go about his business. And sometimes I've even told men that I'm working with that, hey, leave her alone. Leave her alone. Right? Like, I don't get it. You need to leave her alone. So, but honestly, that's how men and women are wired differently. We are wired differently that way. And women, and this is a part of our evolutionary makeup, this is science, we have less tolerance for negative emotion. We are detail-oriented people. We see all the little nuances, all the little things that drive us bonkers. We see that. And you all don't see that. Thank you so much. Is it Proverbs 2 music? Oh, no, it's Garland. Thank you, Garland, for purchasing a badge this morning. I was trying to, there's all these things munged up together. Okay, thank you so much. And, okay, thank you. I appreciate you. So, that is how we are scientifically different. That women have a lower tolerance for, okay, I'm just going to say it, for being unhappy. We have a lower tolerance for being unhappy. Men, not so much. And that's why, let's go here. That's why men are built for war. Men are built for war. Men are built to withstand just a whole lot, right? And they will be in the worst conditions ever. They will be, in the cold, in the hot. Like they are just built differently. And women, no, not so much. Like, if it's cold, like it is right now, and you hear me complaining, that's how we different. That's how women and men are different. You hear me complaining, and like Garland said, it's 42. Like, that ain't cold. Got my nose running. That's cold to me, but I'm sensitive. So right there, that is proving my point. Like, that's how we're wired differently. Women, that little bit of negativity, that little bit of, I don't feel good. But here's what I want you to understand about that. And this comes from years and years of research. So one of my mentors, Dr. Pat Allen, who is 80, I think she's 86 this year. 85? She's 85 years old. She is a practicing psychotherapist. And she says, women need to feel good to do good. Okay? Men need to do good to feel good. And so you're wondering what that's about. What is that about, right? So for men, that's why men need to work. That's why men need to have a purpose. They need to have a vision. They need to have something that they are working on. Because when they do, right, they're doing something. When they're doing something, that makes them feel good. That's why men today, just the depression rate in men has skyrocketed today. And it's because men have no purpose. They have no purpose today. They have no vision. They have no goals. They have nothing that they're working on. And that is crippling our men today. Men must have purpose. They must have something that they're doing in order to feel good. Women, on the other hand, it's all about the feelings. And we get, we love to, men, especially men, I'm sorry, I gotta say it, especially men, you all, you want to discount that. That, oh, it's always about your feelings and it can't be about your, but that's how we are wired. Things need to feel good in order for us to do good. So the situations we're in, the temperature in the room, like all of that stuff has to be right for us to then do good. That's how we are wired. Women need to feel good. We need the situation and circumstance to be good, ideal, right? Because remember, we are more sensitive. We're more sensitive to when things are not quite right. And if you have a woman who tends to be more on the anxious side, and a lot of us are, like they will ruminate, they will get in their head, which isn't healthy, and they will take the littlest thing and they'll blow it up into a big thing. And that's and I really discourage women from doing that. That's something I work on with most of my women. Like, I need you to see that little thing. That's fine, because I know that's how you're wired. You can see it, but don't magnify it. Don't blow it up times 1,000. Like, don't do that. Because you're the problem. Like, you're taking that little thing and you're blowing it up like you're the problem. You're making it bigger than it is. So I really work with women on that. When you're taking in information and you're seeing negative information, okay, I know you're wired to see it. See it. I want you to see it. However, I don't want you to magnify it. I don't want you to give any meaning to it. Like, oh, this means this means that. Like, there we go. We're going down that rabbit hole. No, it don't. No, it don't. It just see that thing. That's it. That's all I want you to do. But y'all, let me get back on track. If you're a grown up, if you're a grown adult, relationships are conditional. They are, there's just no other way for me to say that. One of the things I love about being a grown up is the power. All right? And here's what I want you to do after this live. After this live, I want you to head over to my Instagram stories. Head to my Instagram stories. I want you to flip through everything there about this topic. This particular post. This is why we're talking about this morning. Okay? I got this inspiration from a post. Read through those slides. All right? That'll give you some context to this conversation. It'll make sense once you do that. But one of the things I like about being an adult is the power. I can fully admit that. I'm drunk on the power of being grown. I'm drunk. I love being grown. I love having the power to make choices. I love being able to do things a certain way. I love being able to leave situations that don't benefit me. I love being able to leave situations that no longer, support me and who I am, no longer have value. See, that's why grown-ups, they're not required to stick it out. They're not required to stay around when they're being abused and used and mistreated. Now, if that happened to you as a kid, you had no choice. A lot of you had no choice. You had to put up with nonsense. You had to put up with foolishness, whether it was from a family member, a mom, a dad, a grandparent, your siblings. You had no choice. You had no choice. Where they are is where you were. But now that you're grown, you do have a choice. You do have a choice whether you're going to put up with someone's nonsense. And I'm going to keep it 100. I love the power. I love the power of bringing people into my life. I love the power of ushering people out of my life. Thank you, Dinner Party Conversations, for that purchase of a badge. I appreciate you. I'm driving, so I'm not able to look, but I hope to catch folks as I see it. Thank you so much. But one of the things that I work on in therapy with people is how to step into that power. You must step into that power. You're not a kid anymore. You're not helpless. You have immense immense power. And I want you to use it. I want you to use it. Nothing is sadder to me than people who are in toxic, unhealthy relationships, and they just come in week after week and they're just like, well, I mean, what am I going to do? What am I going to do about it? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? You're a grown-up. You're a grown-up. What do you mean, what are you going to do about it? There's lots of things you can do about it. You are not helpless in this situation. And even, let's go here, for those of you who might feel triggered about me saying that I can usher people in and I can show people the door. Some people get triggered by that. Okay, I'm going to address that. Okay, let's say it isn't leaving. Let's say it isn't showing people the door. What else can you do? There's lots of things you can do to improve your relationship. There's lots of things you can do. But the fact that you feel like there's nothing you can do, you just have to take it. I just have to take it. I just have to put up with it. Or, this is an excuse a lot of men use. And I'm going to say, I hear it. This is not to be, non-empathetic. I hear this. But, I've got to deal with it for my kids. I've got to stick around for my kids. I've got to try to stick it out because the family law system, and I won't get to see my kids. I am truly empathetic about that. I really am. However, I don't want you to feel like your hands are tied. That robs you of your power. That you have to stay with a woman who's mistreating you, who's cheating on you, who's not sleeping with you, like all of these things that are happening. I'm like, no, there are things you can do. And I want you to exercise those things. I want you to step into that power and say, yeah, no. Like I've made tons of videos on men saying no. Men need to say no. That's your power. That's everybody's power. Everybody gets to say no to whatever, right? To disrespect, to being talked to any kind of way, to certain behaviors that people are like, no, that feels disrespectful. It doesn't feel good to me. You get to say no. So, but yeah, if you're an adult and you are in a romantic relationship, you're choosing that. Let me address that. This idea that we don't choose the people that we're with. See, again, you want to fall back on this childlike, disempowered, then people love to say, you can't choose who you fall in love with. Yes, you can. Yes, you can choose who you're in relationship with. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I can have feelings for a person. I can care about that person, but if I find out things about that person that's not good for me, that's not healthy, I can say, no, that's not going to work for me. Darn. And I can be disappointed. That's happened to me where I'm like, oh man, something about this person just makes me feel a special way. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's just a warmth in my heart. And oh my God. And then I find out something. I'm like, oh, dang. Okay, well, I mean, shoot, and I'm disappointed, but I don't got to be with them. I don't have to usher that into my life. I don't have to accept it. No, I get to say, no, that's not going to work. And that's what grown-ups do. Little kids just hope and wish. Oh, I hope and wish it gets better because I need to just follow this feeling that I have. That's what little kids do. But if you're a grown-up, no, you use this. You use your heart. You use your gut. All of that stuff. You have to use all of that stuff. So yeah, you may not be able to choose who you have a special feeling with or who you have chemistry with, but you can definitely choose who you are in active relationship with. Yes, you can. And that's incredibly immature to say you can't. That doesn't make any sense. Okay? We got to be grown-ups. Here's the other thing I want you to realize. So there's risk involved every time we make a choice to interact with another person, especially romantically. There is great risk involved. There's so much, we just don't know. We just don't know. There's no guarantee. There is so much risk involved. And only you can determine your level of risk. Like, only you can determine that. And so, you've got to figure out, okay, do I want to risk interacting with this person? Do I want to risk being in a relationship with this person? Being in love with this person? Like, bringing this person closer to me? Only you can determine that, if you're ready to take that level of risk. But, yeah, all relationships amongst adults are conditional. Okay? And guess what? You can love a person to the moon and back. I have loved people. I still do. However, I cannot be in relationship with them. Their behaviors, things going on within them, how they manage themselves, that's what keeps me from pulling them close. Me not being able to get my needs met. Lots of reasons. There are lots of reasons why relationships end. And for the record, some relationships need to end. And I don't know why, I don't know why we don't understand that as grown-ups. Like, one thing that drives me crazy about people today in 2022, there is no critical thinking. Like, there is zero critical thinking right now. People are like, it's like 2D. It's ridiculous. It's like black or white or 2D, I'm like, no, critically think about this, right? You can love someone madly. You can, say, man, I wish this relationship didn't have to end. However, I can't get my needs met here. I've tried everything I know how to try. I've done everything I know how to do. And because it takes two people putting forth effort, two people sacrificing, two people being selfless, okay? And that's a dirty word today. Selflessness, sacrifice, commitment. Both people have to meet in that plane. They have to be in that same area at the same time. And if that doesn't happen, the relationship, it can't go anywhere. It can't do anything. And so one person is going to get frustrated and they're going to say, well, unfortunately, I can't have the relationship I want with this person. And that relationship may end. That's what it is. So we got some growing up to do. We got some serious growing up to do, because it surprises me that people don't understand this concept. But this is a mature person conversation. It is a grown-up conversation. Relationships are conditional. Now, you got kids, right? You got children under 18. And even when they're grown, and I put conditions on my kids, now that they grown, I let them know. They pop off, they come reckless out their mouth, I pull away. I pull away because they grown now. I'm like, no, you're not gonna talk to me like that. Like, no. And I'm teaching them. I'm teaching them that you're grown now. You can't do me any kind of way. You don't have, my purse strings is not open to you unconditional. No, I have limits. I set limits on my kids now. Like, no, you're grown. You're not a child. You're a grown up. So, and I'm teaching them relationships are conditional. And you can't go out here in the world and talk to people crazy and think that those people are going to be nice to you or keep doing for you or, no, it's not how the world works. They need to understand relationships have, they have conditions. And that's to protect. This is the greatest lesson of this life. That is to protect everyone. Conditions provide protection. If there were no conditions to be in the relationship, people would be, that's what messes people up. That's why people are out here wounded. That's why people are out here messed up. Because they didn't put standards or requirements or boundaries or conditions. They somehow told another person or gave them the impression, hey, I'm just going to be here, whatever. I'm just going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. No, I would never say that. That's never going to come out of my mouth. I'm never going to say I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to say I am committed. I am committed to this. I'm committed to the relationship and putting forth effort in the relationship. I am committed to you. But I will never say out of my mouth, I'm not going nowhere. That's like giving someone a blank check. And I ain't doing that. So no, we have to be healthy. And even people in the faith community, I'm bumping against a lot of people in the faith community who don't like me saying things like this. Oh, and Jesus was, okay, I'm not Jesus. I'm not Jesus. There's only one of him. I'm a fallible human being, a sinful, fallible human being. I'm not Jesus. Okay? And here's the second piece of that. I don't believe the God that I know and that I love would ever co-sign me staying with someone abusive. Like, that's just based on who I know God to be. Like, he's not going to say, yeah, just let this person use and abuse you, let them do you any kind of way, and let them do it, endlessly. Let them consistently use and abuse you, and, okay, I got a request to be in the live, but I cannot take it. So, sorry. 10 Kaya 1. I am driving, so unfortunately I cannot honor your request to be in the live. But yeah, I've had that is a God co-signed idea. That God did not put anybody on this planet to suffer unnecessarily at the hands of another person. I don't. And I be knowing God like that. I'm just saying, I be knowing God like that. Like, I be knowing him like that. And I don't believe so. I don't believe that he thinks that we should just put up with people's mess over and over and over and over and over. I don't think it's healthy. So, and I'm not saying the only thing you can do is leave. There are lots of other things you can do. You can put forth effort to improve the relationship from your side. You can communicate. There's lots of things that you can do. And remember, it's not just words. You can write it. I am a great writer. Every person who's ever been in a relationship with me has received a letter. Some of them have received many letters. Many letters. And they can go back to those letters. They can reread those letters. They can say, okay, maybe I'm missing something. Let me go back and read Anita's letter. Yeah, go back and read my letter. Because I specifically do that. Because I want to make sure that I'm clear, that I'm concise. Like, I do that for a reason. And guess what? You can go back to that letter and you can read it again, right? So maybe you missed it the first time. Maybe you were in your feelings, but you physically have a letter that you could go back and read. So nope. So what do you think about the unconditional love concept? Yes, love is unconditional. Love is unconditional. I've always believed that. And that's why the love goes on. Love is unconditional amongst people. So adults, children, pets, everybody. Love is unconditional. Love is the one thing in this world that has the power to heal all of us. Love is unconditional. However, relationship is not. Because we can love a person from over here. We can love a person from afar. We can love a person and go about our business. I mean, I tell people all the time, 50%, this is going to sound crazy, but 50% of the couples that I work with that decide to divorce, they still love each other. They still love each other. There is still love there. They love each other. They're just frustrated They're, they're beyond, annoyed. They feel hopeless. They feel defeated. It's like those feelings, they're making the decision out of those feelings. They're not making the decision out of, I don't love this person anymore. No, they're making the decision because they feel hopeless. They feel frustrated. They feel unseen, unheard, unappreciated, on and on and on. And so they're making the decision out of those feelings. But the love is there. I can feel it. I can see it. They still love each other. And it's the saddest thing ever to witness. It really, really is. It's beyond sad when people have to leave each other and they still love each other. It's happened to me. I've had to leave a relationship with someone that I still love. But I can't be with that person. I can't be with that person. It's too frustrating. It's too, I can't get my needs met there. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. But no, the love is still there. Love cannot be destroyed, kind of like energy, right? It cannot be destroyed. It can only be redirected. It can only go into something else. So I take that love, I redirect it, I put it into something else, I put it into myself. And that's what I encourage people do. Put that love into yourself. If you have to kind of withdraw from a relationship, you can still love that person, but you're also, some of that love is going to return to you. Let that love return to you. But yeah, come on. This is a grown-up conversation. If you don't know this, you got some maturing to do. You got some growing up to do. What are healthy boundaries around wanting more sex and your partner doesn't? I mean, that's, like I said, you all have to have hard conversations. You have to get to the root of the cause of that. And you've got to have some hard conversations. You've got to have some adult conversations. And the truth is, a lot of people that are experiencing that, I mean, there's so many. I mean, that conversation alone could take hours, because I'd have to explain to you about polarity. I'd have to explain to you about hormones. Like, there's just so many things that go into that conversation. And so that's many conversations. That's many conversations you all would have to have. I encourage couples to have those conversations on the front end so they don't get to that place. When I'm working with couples in premarital counseling, I have those conversations on the front end. That way, because the truth of the matter is, we want to avoid getting there. It's hard to get out once you're there. What I want couples to do is avoid getting there in the first place. Have those hard conversations on the front end and know, this information, gain this knowledge on the front end so you don't have to dig yourself out on the back end. That's what too many people are doing now. They find themselves stuck in the mud, and it's hard to get out of that. It's hard to get out of that mud. I've been told before that when you love someone, it should be forever, regardless of what's going on. Again, the love doesn't go anywhere, but the relationship may have to end. And again, these are adult concepts. Like, one of the things I have to explain to people all the time is that two things can be true at the same time, y'all. like that's what critical thinking is. Two things can be true at the same time. Okay, I know there's some cognitive dissonance there, but adult people, mature people, they understand that these two things can be true at the same time. Okay, I can love my mother dearly. My mother can be one of the best friends I have right now, but I can also recognize my mother's part, the part that my mother played in my wounding as a child. See? That doesn't make me disloyal. I can see with my eyes the part that my mother played in my wounding as a child. I can see that very clearly. And yet, I can also say, I love my mother dearly. My mother is one of my best friends. My mother and I's relationship has been healed. See how two things can be true at the same time? But yet, I don't close my eyes to the first thing. See? That's it. That doesn't make me disloyal. It just makes me an adult. Like, it makes me a critical thinking person. I never understood why married couples don't have enough sex. It's the lack of polarity. So a lot of married couples, there is no polarity. And polarity is what keeps a relationship full of physical intimacy. There must be one of each. When both people land on the same side of the fence, the first thing to go is their physical intimacy. Let's also add that if one partner is really not into the other, that's going to be the first thing to go. Like, that's the truth. And a lot of people are in what I call settled marriages. They have settled. They have settled with people that they're really not feeling, that they're really not crazy about, that they're really not, they've just settled with these people. They're in a marriage where they have settled. And I mean, if people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. That's a lot of people. A lot of people. If I had to pick a percentage, I'd say probably 60%. It's a whole lot of people. And they're with someone that doesn't do it for them. They're with someone that, he's a good provider. He'd be a good father. He'd treat me kind. He's a hard worker. And it's funny because, how I can tell? I will ask women, like, tell me some great things about your husband. Tell me some, I'll ask that question, right? And they'll say everything but, ooh, girl, he's sexy. Ooh, girl, he's, they won't say that. They won't say that. And, just something about him just does it for me. Like, they won't say that, girl. They'd be like, he's hardworking. He's a good father. They'll say that. Then that's how I know. Okay. That's how I know. They will say the practical stuff. They won't say, oh, he makes my toes curl. He fine. It's just something about him. It's something about his smile or when he looks at me, when he touches. They won't say that. They're not saying that, girl. But they saying the practical stuff. Yeah, they saying all the practical stuff. And that's how you know. So I'm going to keep it 100. Like, I got to be with somebody that I'm like, girl, let me tell you about this man I got, right? That's me. And I believe, this is what I believe because I'm not so black and white. I believe you can have both. I believe the man can make your toes curl and be a hard worker. I believe the man can be sexy and be a good father. So why can't we look for both of those things? But so many people, they have this black and white thinking. They have this very black and white thinking. He can't be sexy and be a good father. He can't, make your toes curl and be a hard worker and pay bills, No, we have to be able to, we got to get out of that. We got to grow out of that ideal that it can only be one or the other. But that's a long conversation about the marriage that has lost all physical intimacy. That's a long conversation. But I was taught to go to the practical one, not the sexy one. Like I said, that's because our world believes that you can't have both. That's the culture. The culture is telling you that you can't have both. And I disagree. I happen to be in a small minority that says, I believe that the man can be sexy and, be a good father. I believe he can be a hard worker and you have a feeling about him, especially if there's polarity. Because like I said, we're not educated on that. We're not promoting that. We're not promoting polarity, which is there must be one of each. There must be a positive and a negative pole. And that is what's going to draw those two poles together time and time and time again. We are sold egalitarianism. We are sold 50-50. We are sold everyone is the same. Everyone is the same. And so, yeah, that's kind of what you're going to get. You're going to get a, kind of without spark, without spice. That's what you're going to get. But if you had compliments, if you had a complementary, so the man is this and the woman is this, if it is a complement to each other, yes, you will maintain the spark and the spice in the relationship. And a big key to this is you have to accept it. You have to accept that your partner is different. You have to appreciate the differences instead of trying to get them to be more like you and you to be more like them. That's what our world is doing. Why can't men be more like women? Why can't women be more like men? No. Men and women are different, and that's okay. Why can't my quiet partner be more gregarious and more outgoing? Why can't my outgoing partner be more introverted and quiet? Like, no. Do you. Do you. Be you. And I can appreciate that. I'm out here selling. We're out here selling this idea that, you know, we need to be more like the other. And I'm like, no. You need to be compliments of each other. Okay? But this is a grown-up conversation. And a lot of people won't get it. A lot of people won't get it. They just won't. And I'm okay with that. I've long accepted that a lot of the concepts that I bring to society at large, a lot of people, most people don't get it. There's like 10% of people that get it. And that's why I always say the phrase, if you know, you know. Like sometimes people will put these crazy comments under my posts or my videos or my reels. And sometimes all I respond is, well, if you know, you know. Right? Because I know that 90% of people are not going to get it. You're just not. And this whole idea of, you know, fighting against, like, okay, you do that, you know, have fun with that. But no, I'm not in that spirit. I'm not in that fighting spirit. I'm in the flow spirit. See, and most people don't live there. Most people are not about that life. They want to, you know, they want to fight against nature. They want to fight against, you know, evolutionary psychology. They want to reinvent the wheel. I leave those people alone. Like, I really do. I'm like, okay, you have fun with that. You have fun with that. Okay. And as you may notice, there are reels or there are posts where people are underneath them and they're going crazy. I do not interact. Okay. So I'm going to give you that PSA right now. I do not interact with people that want to bring the nonsense. I don't have energy for it. They get mad because you're educated and they're not. Thank you. I'm just like, I can't be bothered. Sorry. So a lot of those comments, I just don't respond. I really don't. I don't have anything for you. Okay, those who know, know. And those who don't, you know, okay. And if you're not open, so many people are not open to this knowledge. They're not open to this wisdom. They're just not open. And that's okay. Like I said, I don't judge them. I don't feel a way about them. But I'm like, okay, but those who know, know. Okay? But relationships amongst adults are conditional. And that's just wisdom, right? That's just a piece of knowledge that you can have strong feelings about it, you know, and that's okay. Like I said, people, how they feel is how they feel, but that's a piece of truth. That's a piece of wisdom that people don't like and people have strong feelings about. But in the world I live in, you'll do better. You'll do better to accept wisdom. You'll do better to accept some universal truths. And life will be easier. You will be happier. I'm happy in my life because I have knowledge. I have wisdom. I've accepted some universal truths. I am no longer in a state of resistance. Most people are in a state of resistance about something. And I've just let go of that, right? The only thing that I struggle with, that I'm still in a state of resistance, is when I lose something. Nothing irritates me more than when I lose something. And I just run around like a chicken with my head cut off. That frustrates me to no end. So I'm still very much in resistance about that. I know I need to let it go. But these universal truths about masculine and feminine, about men doing and giving, about men providing, and about women receiving, and about women being, right? Those things, they're just like breathing to me. They're like breathing, and there are people that are gonna push back on it. I understand. They're not gonna get it. They're gonna push back. They're gonna, you know, fall into the comments and try to tear me a new one. I get it, but I'm sorry. I've already accepted this. I'm not in a state of resistance about it, and I try to connect with other people that are like-minded. And so the only thing I would say is, okay, connect with people that are like-minded. If that's not your universal truth, if that's not a piece of wisdom or knowledge for you, okay, then connect with other like-minded people. If you like going Dutch on dates, then connect with other people that like going Dutch on dates. I don't, so I'm not doing that. You know, now if I'm in a relationship with someone, sure, I have no problem, you know, offering to pay. I have no problem paying. This is something that's mutually beneficial for both of us. That's exactly how it should work. We are in something. We are going somewhere. We are, you know, we have a similar vision, a similar goal. We have a similar plan for each other. Once that is determined, oh, I have no problem. I have no problem. I have no problem. And here's the thing that you have to understand. I'm not going to keep track or keep tabs. I'm not going to, you know, keep a tally or keep a record. No, that feels yucky to me. That does not make me feel sexually attracted to my partner. That does not make me feel cherished as the girl. So I'm not going to keep a tally or keep a record, and I don't want the other person to do that either. I'm going to give from my heart, and my heart is big. My heart is generous. I'm going to give from my heart. I'm not going to overgive, ladies. I'm not going to overgive. I'm not going to overdo. I'm not going to overshare. Okay? Rein that in. But I'm going to give from my heart. I'm going to give out of the love and the good feelings from my heart. Right? That's it. Okay? But if you're coming in on the end of this live, I want you to go back and watch from the beginning. This is one of those lives that, oh my goodness, so many people out in this world, you needed this live. You needed this. You really did. You didn't realize you did, but you did. You needed to understand that this is a universal truth. Love is forever. Love is the most healing force in the universe. Love is for everyone. I have love for everyone. I want everyone to experience a deep, earth-shattering, soul-quenching love, right? Love is amazing, and it is something that, like energy, is forever. It will never die. It can never be destroyed. Love is amazing. It is absolutely amazing, and I know that because I felt it over and over and over again. However, relationship, the pulling in close, the day-to-day, the having access to a person, right? That is conditional. That is based on the effort. That is based on the behavior. That is based on treating people well. That is based on showing up. That is based on, you know, mutual efforts, right? That is what that is based on. And we can't act like that is not a universal truth, because it is. Like, you're abusing yourself if you think otherwise. If you're abusing yourself if you believe that you should just be with that person regardless of how they treat you, regardless of the behaviors they have, regardless of the effort or the lack of effort or the low effort, like you're in an abusive state. There is no self-love in that. You have to be willing to love yourself and have a measure of love for other people. For sure. For sure. I can love a person. I can love myself. Of course. But yes, relationships with others, they are dependent on that mutual effort. And remember, I've always said, whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, the relationship that you are in is for both of you. I can't say this enough. That's what annoys me about women. They really think that the relationship is for them, and it's not. The relationship does not exist for you and to please you and to meet your needs. You're in a relationship with another person. Okay? So that drives me bonkers. No, this relationship is for both of us. Both of us should get our needs met. Both of us should feel good in this relationship. And if we don't, that's a problem. That's a problem. And it's just like if a woman came to me and she was like, yeah, this is the greatest relationship I've ever been in. Oh, I'm just so happy. I'm so loved. I'm so fulfilled. I feel so cherished. and she rates the relationship at a 9. And then I talk to her partner, and he rates the relationship at, if she rates the relationship as a 9 and he rates the relationship as a 2, y'all, can I keep it 100? Like, really? Really? You don't know that this man is not happy? You don't know that this man's needs aren't being met, that this man's needs aren't fulfilled? That's a problem. And that's a selfish person. That's a selfish person that would have the audacity to, Lord, I digress. I'm getting all off track, but that just burns me. Like, no, the relationship is only as good as is mutually, it's mutually, right? That it's only as good as what both of us say the relationship is. That's crazy. And then I've had it go the other way. Where the man will rate it as a 9 and the woman will rate it as a 2. And again, that's a problem. That's a problem. The relationship is only as good as what both people say that it is. We got to get those numbers closer together. Now, if he says 9 and she says 8, okay, I'm not worried. Okay? Or she says 8 and he says 7. Okay, I'm not worried. But a 9 and a 2? No, that's telling me something. And the fact that the person who's rating the relationship as a 9 is cool. Like, they're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't care what's going on with them. I'm good. You know, come on. That is some messed up stuff. So we got to do better. We got to do better out here in these relationship streets. And I want to be on the side of the solution. That's what I'm about. I'm on the side of the solution, which is I'm doing my part to be a part of the solution. I do that by working with couples in my private practice. I do that by creating content on Instagram and YouTube. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you need to go over to YouTube and subscribe. Okay? All right. And if nothing else, because there are people out there who don't like what I say and don't agree or don't want to try it or are not open to it, that is your prerogative. Okay? I'm not here to force anybody to do anything. That's your prerogative. However, it starts conversations. That's what I love about it. It starts a conversation. And that's really what we need. We need to have more hard conversations around some of the topics that I post on my social media. We need to start talking. I love the fact that men are talking. Men need to use words. They need to start talking about what's going on inside of them. If they're unhappy, like we've got to, and women, we've got to listen. We've got to listen. What's crazy to me is you want to have a man. You want to have a man. But you don't care nothing about what he thinks or how he feels or what's important to him or what makes him feel good or what makes him feel satisfied. Like, you don't care nothing about that, but you want a man. We have to start listening. And we have to, like, critically think about it. It's not to trigger you. It's not to make you feel like you're bad or you're wrong or you're not doing this or you're not doing... Oh, so what you saying is, like, as soon as your response starts with that phrase, you're on the wrong track. So what you saying is... Come on, y'all. Come on. Soon as your response starts with that phrase, I know you're triggered. Your response should start by asking a question. Oh, babe, I just really miss you. I just, we don't we're not intimate anymore. We haven't been intimate in months. Okay, so how often would you like to be intimate? See, your response to that should be a question. It should be you being curious to want to know more, to want to, okay, so how often would you like to be intimate? Not, so what you saying is that you gonna cheat. You gonna go out here in these streets and find somebody and see, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Your wounding is showing. Your trauma is showing. You in your childlike state when you're doing that. Ask a question. Just get curious. Get curious about what you're hearing. That's it. I tell the men to do the same. Get curious about what your woman is expressing. Ask a question. Let a question be the first response to what a person shares with you. And that shows them that, you know what? I'm actually curious about this. I'm actually interested in, what's going on with you. That's it. That's it. Okay, that's your tip for today. Get curious. All right, thank you so much for joining me on this live. I appreciate everyone who joined. I apologize that I wasn't able to get to all of your comments or your questions. But I knew this would be an opportunity to talk about this very important topic. This was a very important topic that we needed to discuss. And so I wish that Instagram would, like when they save a live, and I don't know if they'll get to this one day, but I wish they would save the comments and save the questions and, they would save the commentary. I want them to get to that place where they will actually save it, because I think there's a lot of good value within it. But for now, when I save this right now and I do a replay, it's not going to have any of the comments or anything. I wish it would, but we'll see, maybe in the future. But I want to personally thank everyone who purchased a badge. I love you. I thank you so much for that. Supporting the platform means everything to me. It is very, very appreciated. I want you to know that. I really appreciate each and every person who supports the platform. So thank you for that. If you're coming in on the end, please watch the replay, because there's a lot of value within this IG Live. There's so much that most people needed to get from this live. Okay? Oh yeah, what is it? Bootney Farn that's a great comment. That is a great comment. Thank you. He is okay. I think it's a he. He shared a really great comment there. But yes, I agree, and we got to do better. Men and women, we got to do better. We have our work cut out for us. Women have a little bit of different work than men, but we each have our work cut out for us, and we have got to do better. We got to do better, because we need each other. We need each other. And the truth of the matter is this, y'all gonna keep messing with each other. Like, that's what's so crazy to me. As crazy as men and women get with each other in the comments, like, y'all gonna still keep messing with each other. Y'all gonna still keep dating each other. Y'all gonna still keep being intimate with each other. You're gonna keep having kids with each other. So come on, try to do it the right way. Try to do it the right way, not the adversarial way, not the fighting way. Try to do it the right way, because y'all gonna keep messing with each other. Y'all not gonna leave each other alone. So try to, grow up, mature, and engage with each other in the right way, in the healthy way, okay? And for those of y'all that are in my comments bickering and arguing with each other and being disrespectful to each other, like, this is your only warning, okay? Those comments are gonna be deleted, because it's not helpful. You're not helping yourself, and you're not helping anyone else. So be respectful in my comments. Be kind to each other in my comments. All right? I'm going to start deleting those comments that are disrespectful, that are profane, that are not kind to one another. You can disagree without being disagreeable. All right? Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me. And as always, stay open to love.